What up, y'all? You're listening to Sports Talk with Tropp, and I'm your host, Katie Tropp. Will, that was a terrible Game 7. That was such a terrible Game 7 last night that we are not even going to recap what the Detroit Pistons did over the weekend because they took a complete shit. So let's just get right into the Top 10 MLB Power Rankings for the week, and then we will talk about the conference finals to round out the show. So let's start with the Top 10 MLB Power Rankings for this week, beginning at number 1. Remains the Atlanta Braves, overall record of 32-15, 6-4 in their last 10 games. This past week, they took the series over the Chicago Cubs and the Boston Red Sox, and this team just does not let up. They are so good in so many different ways. They will kick your ass. They'll win the close games. They can win in walk-offs. They'll pitch you to death, or they will just get home runs galore. As a matter of fact, the one and only category that they are not the top 10 in right now is home runs. So that's about the only improvement that the Atlanta Braves need. So y'all better get on the home runs. But other than that, they're first in the league with batting average, 265 batting average. Second in the league with runs, 250 runs. First in the league with the lowest ERA, 294. And then second in the league with WHIP at 1.13. So they are just dominating in every way, shape, and form. They look so good. This is just kind of what I feel like. I'm not shocked at all, really. I didn't pick the Braves to do anything major this year, but that's because I picked them the last couple of years to do things, and they just keep letting me down, and it's just because of the injuries. But now it looks like because they're healthy this year, other than Acuna, they really are just knocking it out of the park, literally. So they are just having a great season, and first team to 30 wins on the season, and obviously best team in the league, at least right now. Then at number 2 on my Top 10 MLB Power Rankings, a team that is right there. It was really close between them and Atlanta, as a matter of fact, with this team, and that is the Tampa Bay Rays. Overall record of 30-15, so they are the second team on the season to hit the 30-win mark. Those are the only teams right now who have hit 30 wins on the season. And not really surprised by the Braves, but super surprised by the Rays. Overall record of 30-15, 7-3 in their last 10 games. This past week, they took the series over the Toronto Blue Jays and the Miami Marlins, and this is another team that's just getting it done in so many different ways. Their starting pitching is lights out. You cannot score on these dudes. And then speaking of scoring, like Junior Caminero and Jonathan Aranda have been on a tear the last month of baseball. Caminero's batting at 256, 12 home runs, 23 RBI, and then Aranda is right behind him with 270 batting average, 8 home runs, and 34 RBI. And these two, they're just basically trading barbs. I mean, Caminero started the season out slow, but he really has launched it, as well as Aranda, and then the pitching has been amazing, the bullpen's been amazing, and it's just really super shocking that not only is this the best team in the American League right now, but they're right up there with the Braves. Like I said, I could have put them over the Braves. Really, the only deciding factor is just because the Braves, they've been more consistent, but I mean, at the end of the day, the Rays have obviously been consistent too. It's just, I feel like if the two faced off, the Braves would probably win that one. But it would be a close matchup and probably go 7 games if they were to face off against each other in like a World Series. But we got a long way to go till we get there. But these are easily the two best teams in baseball right now. Then at number 3 on my Top 10 MLB Power Rankings, this didn't last. Their losing streak did not last, and that is Los Angeles Dodgers. Overall record of 29-18, 6-4 in their last 10 games. As a matter of fact, they are currently on a 5-game winning streak, and they are looking like they are back in the saddle. This past week, they split the series with my San Francisco Giants and then kicked the crap out of the Los Angeles Angels. And they are right up there with the Atlanta Braves in all of the categories as well. They are second, right behind the Braves in batting average with the 264 batting average. They are right behind the Braves at third with 248 runs on the season. They are right behind the Braves with ERA. They are second with the lowest ERA at 321, but they are above the Braves with the WHIP, and they are first with the WHIP at 1.110. Or at 1.10. So the Dodgers, they're just back in order. They did have to put a couple of pitchers on the injured list with Snell and Glass now over the last couple of weeks. But I mean, other than that, this team is looking like the typical Dodgers, and that's no shock there. Then at number 4 in my top 10 MLB Power Rankings, with the Dodgers now on the upside of things, so are the San Diego Padres. And they are number 4, overall record of 28-18, 6-4 in their last 10 games. This past week, they lost the series to the Milwaukee Brewers, but then swept the Seattle Mariners. And it's just funny because when the Dodgers slump, that's when the Padres slump. When the Dodgers get going, that's when the Padres get going. And here we are, both of them 6-4 in their last 10 games. And I told you the Padres were going to be on the Dodgers' ass all season long. And so far, that has been the case. They are getting great work out of their starting pitching. Vasquez has 5 wins on the season with a 2.68 ERA and 45 strikeouts. King's got a couple of wins on the season with a 2.63 ERA and 50 strikeouts. And they're getting it done in all ways as well. Machado's having a monster year, and this Padres team is just putting it together. And I just find it amusing that I told you they were going to be following the Dodgers, and so far they basically are mirroring the Dodgers. Like I said, when one slumps, the other one does. When one's up, they are too. So they are just right there battling back and forth. Hell, the Padres have even had first place a couple of times along the way. So I told you it was going to be a battle, and so far it has been. Then at number 5 on my top 10 MLB Power Rankings, a team that has gone ice cold. They were killing it, and now they're on a little bit of a losing streak, and that is the Chicago Cubs. Overall record of 29-18, 4-6 in their last 10 games. This past week, they lost the series to the Atlanta Braves and lost the series to the Chicago White Sox. But their pitching is looking really solid. I mean, Shota Imanaga having a great year, 4 wins, 2.32 ERA, and 59 strikeouts. Tyone's having a great year. Colin Ray's having a great year. They're just getting a lot of production out of their starting pitchers. They're playing great small ball. It's just they are on a little bit of a losing streak here, and that was bound to happen. This is a long season, and that's just what happens. But I expect them to get it going again. And next week, they might be number 1. Who knows? Then at number 6 on my top 10 MLB Power Rankings are the Milwaukee Brewers. Overall record of 26-18. They are 8-2 in their last 10 games. This past week, they took the series over the San Diego Padres and the Minnesota Twins. And they're getting a lot of offensive production out of Bryce Turang. He's batting at 288 with 6 home runs and 27 RBI. And then Jake Bauers as well. He's been another guy who has just been popping off with his bat with a 2.81 ERA, 6 home runs, and 23 RBI. This is another team that's just getting it done with a whole bunch of no-name players. A lot of guys just stepping it up offensively, defensively, just not really making a whole lot of mistakes and really putting together some great baseball. Then at number 7 on my top 10 MLB Power Rankings, the team that got rid of their manager and they are still flying high right now, that is the Philadelphia Phillies. Overall record of 24-23. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. This past week, they took the series over the A's and the Colorado Rockies. And I will say, I think they've won like their last 17 of 19 games, last 17 of 20, something like that. But basically, they've been on a tear since they fired their manager and Mattingly took over. But Kyle Schwarber has just been doing what he do, hitting Schwarb bombs out of the park. He had I don't know how many home runs he had over the weekend, but it felt like he had 20 home runs over the weekend, even though his season total is 20 home runs. But it just kind of felt like every time I was looking at scores or I was getting alerts, it's Kyle Schwarber hits another home run. Kyle Schwarber hits another home run. And it just kind of feels like he is back on track. So he's got 20 home runs on the season, 36 RBI. And then Chris Sanchez, he's been having a great year overall. But he actually just pitched a complete game over the weekend against the Colorado Rockies, in which he had 13 strikeouts and a 6-0 win, and just an absolutely dominating win. And that's a great park because the Colorado Rockies park is it's a hitter's park. Everybody knows it. So if you are a pitcher who walks in there and gets a complete game shutout, that means you just pitched an amazing game, because that's a difficult park for pitchers to even get a decent game, let alone a complete game with 13 strikeouts. As a matter of fact, I think who else had a complete game shutout? Didn't Merrill Kelly? I think Merrill Kelly with the Diamondbacks had one there in Colorado as well last week. So something was going on with the pitchers last week in Colorado, and it wasn't any Colorado Rockies pitcher. Shocker there. Then at number 8 on my top 10 MLB Power Rankings of the St. Louis Cardinals. Overall record of 27-19. They are 6-4 in their last 10 games. This past week, they took the series over the Sacramento A's and the Kansas City Royals. And they are just killing it with their rookies right now. Jordan Walker batting a 301 with 13 home run and 34 RBI on the season. And then their other rookie, Weatherholt, he's got 8 home runs and 22 RBI on the season. So the two rookies offensively are taking care of business. But their starting pitching rotation is just the sneakiest starting pitching rotation in the league, probably, because I did not expect the Cardinals to I didn't expect them to be a good team. I didn't expect anything from their pitching. I thought their pitching was going to be terrible. And so far, they have been unhittable. They have been stacking wins, and they're just getting it from dudes who you just can barely remember. And, good for them. That's kind of what the Cardinals do. They just find these no-name players and then just turn them into stars. And, right now the rookies are showing out, but so are some of the no-names that for the starting pitching rotation that I didn't think were going to do anything, and they are showing out so far this year. Then at number 9 on my top 10 MLB Power Rankings of the New York Yankees. Overall record of 28-19. They're 3-7 in their last 10 games. This past week, they lost the series to the Baltimore Orioles and then lost the series to the New York Mets. And man, that Mets one. There was a game yesterday that they had where it was back and forth all the way till the very end, and then the Mets walked it off with a three-run home run to tie it, and then a walk-off later after that. It was one of the craziest games, though. It was just back and forth. But the Yankees bullpen has been terrible for them. Even Bednar got blown up yesterday. He was the one who gave up the 3-run home run to tie it up. So even Bednar had a bad game yesterday. And that's bound to happen. A closer's not going to be perfect every time he walks out there. But everybody else but Bednar, there is a lot of questions with that Yankees bullpen. They might want to make some trades to shore that bullpen up, because it kind of feels like that's going to be their Achilles heel if they keep it up. But their positives, definitely Ben Rice. Batting a 301, 15 home runs, 31 RBI. As a matter of fact, him and Aaron Judge are basically just going back and forth. When one takes the lead with the home runs, the other one's like, no, I got it. And it's the same thing with the RBI. They both are just going back and forth. Right now, Aaron Judge is batting a 266 with 16 home runs, 30 RBI. And then Bellinger, he's right behind him as well, batting a 265, 5 home run, 30 RBI. Jazz is starting to get going as well. He's had a hot couple of weeks. And but unfortunately, Max Fried, he was put on the injured list this week. But it does look like Garrett Cole is about to come back. I just read, actually, before I got on the recording the show, that it looks like he potentially could be back this week. So it's looking like they're going to get Cole back, and they definitely are going to need Cole because so far Rodon, he's been pretty shaky since he came back from his injury. And then, like I said, the bullpen has been completely unreliable. But Cam Schlittler, he has been money every single time he's come out. And then rounding out the top 10 MLB Power Rankings this week, a team that we haven't discussed yet. I'm actually super shocked we're even discussing them, especially because of this insane turnaround that this team has had, and that is the Chicago White Sox. Overall record of 24-22. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. This past week, they took the series over the Kansas City Royals and the Chicago Cubs. It's all about their rookie, Murakami. This guy is leading the American League in home runs with 17 home runs. He's only behind Kyle Schwarber for overall lead in MLB. Kyle Schwarber's got 20, so he's only 3 behind Schwarber, and he's got 32 RBI on the season. And every time this guy comes up to bat, he's practically hitting it out of the park. And it's crazy because a lot of people actually overlooked this guy in the offseason because you just never know with a lot of these Asian players, whether they come from Korea, Japan, China, that whole area over there. Sometimes they're not as good as they turn out to be. And I kind of feel like that's what happened to Murakami, is he kind of just got lost in the shuffle. And the Chicago White Sox ended up taking him, and he has been a huge boost to this team offensively. And you could just see everybody else is rallying around him, and he really has just completely changed the direction of this team, because the Chicago White Sox were literally a historically terrible team, just 2 years ago? Last year they were terrible, but the season before, they were literally a historically terrible team, like one of the worst teams of all time historically. And now here they are, 24-22, right behind the Cleveland Guardians in their division, with this rookie phenom who is just knocking it out of the park every time he comes up to bat. But their starting pitching rotation is another one of those sneaky starting pitching rotations led by Davis Martin. 6 wins, 161 ERA, 59 strikeouts. But they're just getting a lot of production from these guys. I don't know how long it's going to last with the White Sox, if they're going to be one of those kind of teams that looks good up until the All-Star break and then kind of falls apart, or if they just hang around the rest of the way and then they may maybe magically make a little playoff run and then fall apart there. But it's actually quite shocking to even be talking about the White Sox right now. And, I kind of wanted to. I could have gone a couple other teams probably at 10, but I just really wanted to talk about Murakami, and I kind of feel like this White Sox team might actually be legit. I mean, they are in a division that is pretty much up for grabs with any team. So if they just keep it up and just keep winning at this pace that they're winning at, they might do something. But there is a lot of season to go, but it is just crazy to kind of see the turnaround that the Chicago White Sox have had. All right, so let's move on to basketball. And the conference finals begin this week. Beginning with Monday night, we begin the Western Conference Finals, the matchup between the San Antonio Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is the number 1 and 2 seed. As a matter of fact, SGA just won the MVP over the weekend, so he is now a 2-time MVP, back-to-back MVP as well, so he's looking for that back-to-back championship now. The Spurs are going to be a tough task, though, for the Oklahoma City Thunder. They match up great against this team. And during the regular season, I mean, the Spurs just trounced them. They dominated them in almost every single matchup throughout the season. And so I expect this to be a fantastic series. Now, I will say, I've expected this even before the playoffs began, but I do expect the Spurs to run into a wall at some point. It's just what happens with the younger teams. You can have a great regular season. You can dominate all you want. You can even make a nice little playoff run. But at some point, you are going to run into a wall. And this is where I think they're going to run into a wall. Now, when I say that, they're not going to get their ass kicked. No way, no how. I think this is going to be a fantastic series. I think it's going to go with a full 7, by the way. I've got this going all 7 games because they have superstars. They have guys who are right behind the superstar who could take over like the superstar. They have deep benches. They play great offensively. They play great defensively. They're able to get to the line. And they just play great basketball. Both teams play great basketball, and that's why I'm expecting this to be an excellent series. But like I said, to me, it's really the Oklahoma City Thunder's experience over the San Antonio Spurs' inexperience. The majority of this Spurs team is super young, super green, really. I mean, the majority of them have only been in the league for about 1 to 4 years, so none of them have really been in this position, whereas the Oklahoma City Thunder, they not only won a championship last year, but they've also been they were the Spurs a couple of years ago before they won their championship. They were that team that was really good in the regular season, and then they would hit their wall in the playoffs, and that's why I'm expecting the Spurs to hit a wall when they hit the Oklahoma City Thunder, just because the Oklahoma City Thunder's playoff experience, I do believe, is going to come into play in this one. It does look like they're going to get Williams back for this series as well. They absolutely need him, even though they've dominated the last 2 series to get here. They're definitely going to need him to beat the Spurs, and they're definitely going to need him to win a championship as well, at least to play some type of role. He doesn't have to be the most dominating guy on the court, but he definitely has to be a factor. But, I mean, this Oklahoma City Thunder team, they are great from top to bottom, and they have so much depth at the bench position, and I just feel like their playoff experience is going to come into play in this one, and I have the Oklahoma City Thunder winning the Western Conference Finals in 7 games. And like I said, that kicks off tonight. The Eastern Conference Finals kick off tomorrow night, and that is going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the New York Knicks. Super shocked that the Cavaliers are here, especially with how they played against the Pistons. I mean, yeah, they kicked the crap out of the Pistons the last 2 games, but to me, that was more the Pistons just fell apart. I don't think that's going to be the case here with the Knicks. As a matter of fact, the Knicks have really been playing amazing high-level basketball throughout this entire playoffs. I mean, they have been playing great defensively. They've been scoring the other team out of the building like crazy. It just feels like every game they've played so far in the playoffs, they have completely dominated, and it hasn't mattered what happens. And I kind of feel like this series is going to be the same. James Harden, he's going to disappear as he normally does, and I expect him to in this series. I feel like the Knicks defense is just going to be way too much for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I just don't think the Cavaliers have even shown any, even though they won their last 2 series, they didn't win them convincingly. They didn't have any, like I said, with the Detroit Pistons matchup, especially Game 7, it kind of felt like the Pistons didn't even show up for that game. It's like they didn't even know that they were playing a playoff game. So I know the Cavaliers played a decent game, but I just feel like the Pistons fell apart. And that's not going to be the case with the Knicks. The Knicks are playing great basketball. They're playing solid, high-level basketball. Brunson's showing out. Bridges is showing out. Karl Anthony Towns has been a monster. And their bench is also playing great as well. And I just don't think the Cavaliers can compete, not only in a 7-game series, but I don't even think it's going to be close at all. I think the Knicks are going to dominate, even if they lose 1 game, which I think is going to be the only amount of losses that they're going to have in this series, because I think the Knicks are actually going to roll over the Cavaliers in 5 games in this one. And I actually was super close to picking them to sweep the Cavaliers, but I didn't. I showed the Cavaliers a little bit of respect and gave them 1 win in this one. But I would not be shocked at all if the New York Knicks sweep through in this one, because I just don't think the Cavaliers are a good team at all. They didn't show me any. They didn't show me anything in that in either of their first in their 2 playoff series wins, other than they're a pretty decent team. But if the other team doesn't come to play, then they can get the win, and that's pretty much what I saw from them. So I'm expecting the New York Knicks to just absolutely roll in the Eastern Conference Finals. And like I said, the Eastern Conference Finals begin on Tuesday night. All right, y'all. Enjoy the week of sports, and I will talk to you fools on Friday.